Hi there, it's Richard at Richard's Guitars. Today I'm going to do an interesting video between the Eastman AC322CE and the AC422CE. Basically they're identical. The difference being is this one is Mahogany and this one is Rosewood. And I thought it would just make quite a nice way of demonstrating how wood variations affect the tone. And also it's important to note that when you go between different brands, it doesn't matter what kind of wood you're using, the guitars will have their own voice anyway. So you will have characteristics between guitar brands that are inherent within that brand, literally because of the way they make the guitars, and that will also be shown here as well. So basically the Eastman guitars have a genuinely natural, alive, they're quite vocal, very resonant, a brighter tone as well, I'd say. So there's a sort of a brighter edge and very alive. So some guitar brands will have a naturally more darker woody tone, or just dull, or just whatever it is. But I always like guitars that are quite dynamic and quite alive sounding. I think that would summarize things. Excuse all the noise because it's absolute chaos today. My wife's in the background, we're trying to print off, do all sorts of things, there's all sorts of emergencies going on, so please hang in there if you hear any noise in the background. A bit short of time as always. So AC322CE and the AC422CE are top personal recommendations of mine, and I want to show you why one might suit one person, one might suit the other. I think what's going to happen is, though, you'll also kind of see that these are shades of grey, and it will give you an insight into not to close your mind off one wood type or another, because they both are lovely guitars in their own right. The AC322CE is £150 cheaper-ish than the Rosewood. Okay, so one thing I might worth saying at this point is there's a general, as a rule, the sort of the benchmark to work by. Mahogany I would always describe as the recording tone. Now it's described as the recording tone because it is, I would describe what you'd expect from Mahogany is a more balanced, a warm tone, balanced, with less prominence of bass and treble. And that bass and treble is what I tend to describe as a sparkle. It creates more dynamics. It seems very alive when you get a bass sound and a treble sound. We will have an overall feeling that there's a lot of dynamics and it's a very live sound. So that was Chris about to walk into the room, not realising I was doing a video, so it's okay, he's gone. So here we go. This is Mahogany anyway. So we're just going to run through a few chords here. So, here we go. So, hear that. Straight into the Rosewood. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I'm just going to flip backwards and forwards a second though. Now, so what I'm already hearing here, so we're going to go through this. There's a slight glassy, I can hear the bass. So So we hear that bass overtone, but also the clarity of the brighter top end sound. And that is where I talk about this layering. I think it's because you're hearing the bass and the treble ringing through. Now if I go straight back to this one, to exactly the same chord, it's subtly more across the range. So you can hear they're very, very similar, but this one, it sounds slightly softer and just more, a little less upfront. Let's do that again. You can hear it there, absolutely. So let's just, there's one. That's so I don't know where that's coming across, but basically the way I look at it, Mahogany is a sort of slightly warm tone. Rosewood, we've got more detail in there with a little bit more emphasis on bright, the top end and the bass, with a bit more of a scoop in the mid-range. So you might argue there's a bit more middle in the Mahogany, but ultimately it's a case of whatever you like the sound of. Both of these guitars are absolute top recommendations of mine. They've just become, which is why I thought it was so important to do the video. If you have a quick look at, that's the Mahogany that we're using on the Mahogany that we're using on the Eastman guitars. So obviously totally handmade. You won't get wood like this on anything at the price that Eastman are doing. As you can see, this one's been all beautifully set up, but we still have loads of saddle height on the bridge here, which is showing you know, perfect geometry on the guitar as well. Also, this is the latest. This is the very latest pickguard that they're now putting on the Eastman guitars, which really is beautiful with a tortoiseshell plate. So I like that a lot as well. So that's the Mahogany, and then we've got here the Rosewood. So this is normally I think Rosewood captivates people because not only does it sparkle and is very alive sounding, but it's also looks very beautiful. However, now with Mahogany available like that, it's not quite so clear cut. I think people can start to see a beauty in the Mahogany as much as they can the Rosewood. So as for my own favourite, I don't think there is. It really is a case of what suits you. In one moment, I can really love that kind of detail and sparkle of the Rosewood and that bass and treble, and then on another occasion, that smooth, slightly softer sound of the Mahogany is beautiful too. Really is a case of personal personal preference. Okay, so there you go, AC322. Oh, finally, both of the guitars have got the Fishman Matrix pickup fitted into them as well, so that's doesn't get any better than that. The Fishman Matrix pickup is what we put into our Loudon guitars at £5,000. Loudon put the Fishman Matrix pickup into their guitars at £5,000. We fit the Fishman Matrix into all our first guitars, and any Eastmans that don't come with pickups, we fit the Matrix in there. It's the best pickup you can get, basically. So about £850 and just over £1,000 for this one. So hopefully that helps. Okay, cheers.